Hello everyone, welcome to Things Lucy Reads. I'm Luce, and in this video I will be telling you about some books that have come out recently that I'm very excited about. So this is sort of like a book haul, I guess. Or maybe I'll call it a pre-order roundup. I didn't pre-order absolutely all of these, but I did pre-order a good chunk of them. They're just books that have come out in the last few months that I've been especially excited about. Let's just get into it. So the first book that I'm going to talk about is the Bloom Into You Anthology, Volume 1. This is based on the series Bloom Into You by Nakatani Niyo, which I did a series review video on. I will link it up here for you. So this is like short stories written by people who aren't Nakatani Niyo about the characters from Bloom Into You, and I just think it sounds so fantastic and I'm really excited to get to it. I think it's just going to be like really lovely little moments, and I said in my I read it in one day video that I really hoped that the teachers got their own spin-off. This isn't that, but I will be very surprised if they don't pop up in here at least once, and I would absolutely love to know more about them and their story, so I am really excited to read this one. And then the next book is the third in a series which is not published by this publisher except for this book. So the first two are like self-published, I think, but then this one for some reason was picked up by Harlequin. Not going to question it. Anyway, it's The Lights on Knockbridge Lane by Rowan Parrish. This is the third in the Garnet Run series. First one is called Better Than People and the second one is called Best Laid Plans, I think. Anyway, I'm just very excited about this because first of all, it's gay, and you can see that it's gay, and it's a Christmas romance, but also it's published by Harlequin Mills and Boon. This is your regular Christmas Harlequin romance, but it's gay, and like it's legit, and you know that because there's a Harlequin order form in the middle, and I'm just like unreasonably excited that they're doing this now for gay books, and I hope that they continue to do that. So in order to kind of help that along, I definitely bought a copy of this, and you should too, because this is the future that we want. I'm very excited to read this. Definitely will be reading it over Christmas. I will take it to family Christmas, so help me. And it's honestly over the moon about this one. It is. The TLDR of this section is my little gay heart is so happy. Can't wait to read this at Christmas. Please go pick this up so they do this more. And then the next book is not one that I pre-ordered, but it did come out recently, and it is Stars in Their Eyes by Jessica Walton, and the artist's name is Aska, or maybe it's Ashka. Oh, I should have looked up how to pronounce that before I made this video. So this is about a girl called Maisie who is an amputee. Own Voices, the author Jessica Walton is also an amputee. Let me read you the back of this one. It says, Maisie and her mum are heading to Maisie's first ever fan convention. Maisie has always dreamed of meeting her hero, an amputee actor who plays a kick-ass character on her favourite show, and now she will. FanCon is big and exciting and exhausting, but Maisie feels like she has finally found her crowd. Then, to make things even more perfect, she meets Ollie. They have an instant connection. Could this be the start of something great, or will her mum terminally embarrass her before she and Ollie even have a chance? It sounds phenomenal. It's a graphic novel. This is going to be very queer. I'm really excited to read it. I was not going to say that about all of these books, but it's happening and we're just going to go with it. And then the next book has been absolutely everywhere recently. It is Iron Widow by Shiran J. Zhao, which is described as Pacific Rim meets The Handmaid's Tale. I feel like comparing it to The Handmaid's Tale is an insult, considering that Margaret Atwood has recently outed herself as a TERF and Shiran J. Zhao is non-binary, so like let's just not compare these two. I will also read you the synopsis of this one because it sounds absolutely incredible. It says, in Huasha, the highest honor for a young girl is to be selected as a concubine pilot. Supporters paired up with male pilots to power up chrysalises, the giant transforming mechas that humanity relies on to battle the massive aliens that lurk beyond the Great Wall. But the honor often ends in death, and when 18-year-old Zetian's sister is killed by an ace male pilot, Zetian signs up to avenge her. The vengeance is swift, brutal, and unexpected, leaving Zetian labelled as an Iron Widow, a much feared kind of female pilot who can sacrifice boys to power up chrysalises instead of the other way around. To tame her unnerving yet invaluable mental strength, she is paired up with Li Shimin, the strongest and most controversial male pilot in Huasha. But now that Zetian has had a taste of power, she will not cower so easily. She will miss no opportunity to leverage her and Shimon's combined might and infamy and survive attempt after attempt on her life until she can figure out exactly why the pilot system relies so heavily on destroying girls' lives and dismantle it for good. There's a polyamorous relationship in this book, can confirm that. I'm really excited to read it. Catch me not reading it for 3 years because that's usually how things go, but it just sounds incredible. And then the next book I also don't know much about, so I'm probably just going to read the synopsis of this one too. This is Jadefire Gold by June C.L. Tan. This cover is really cool, but it is not as cool as the spine. Oh my goodness. The UK cover of this is also cool. It's got like, it's like half gold and half red and there's a sword in the middle. Might have to buy 2 copies because they're both really nice. Oh, and underneath this one, it's yellow. When do you ever get a yellow hardback? This is very exciting. So this one, it says, Arn is no one. Found as a child, she has no memory of her past, only a dark secret. Magical powers that would mean her imprisonment if they were discovered. But when Arn's secret is accidentally exposed, she's sent to the Imperial Palace to await her fate. Altan's real name was once known throughout the Shi Empire. When his family was murdered and his birthright hijacked, he lost everything. Now, with a new name and vengeance on his mind, he intends to gain it all back, even if it means entangling his very soul with dark and dangerous magic from which he might never escape. When Altan encounters Arn and her mysterious abilities, he sees in her a path to reclaiming the throne. Their tenuous alliance is on the verge of becoming something more when the depth of Arn's dark powers are awakened and the two realize restoring the Empire might come at a far deadlier price than they could have ever imagined. This also sounds absolutely incredible. It's also queer. I'm just living right now. And then the next book that I'm going to talk about, A Lesson in Vengeance by Victoria Lee. It's a dark academia book. The main character is a lesbian. I'm just going to read the synopsis for this one as well. It says, Felicity Morrow is back at the Dalloway School. Perched in the Catskill Mountains, the centuries-old ivy-covered campus was home until the tragic death of her girlfriend. Now, after a year away, she's returned to finish high school. She even has her old room in Godwin House, the exclusive dormitory rumoured to be haunted by the spirits of 5 Dalloway students, girls some say were witches. The Dalloway 5 all died mysteriously, one after another, right on Godwin grounds. Witchcraft is woven into Dalloway's past. The school doesn't talk about it, but students do. In secret rooms and shadowy corners, girls convene, and before her girlfriend died, Felicity was drawn to the dark. She's determined to leave that behind now, but it's hard when Dalloway's occult history is everywhere, and when the new girl won't let her forget. It is Ellis Haley's first year at Dalloway, and she has already amassed a loyal following. A prodigy novelist at 17, Ellis is a so-called method writer. She's eccentric and brilliant, and Felicity can't shake the pull she feels to her. So when Ellis asks Felicity to help her research the Dalloway 5 for her second book, Felicity can't say no. Given her history with the arcane, Felicity is the perfect resource. And when history begins to repeat itself, Felicity will have to face the darkness in Dalloway and in herself. That sounds badass. Next year I'm really going to get into dark academia because I really want to know what everyone is talking about, and I have like several dark academia books, but I just haven't picked them up yet. But next year it's gonna happen. And also this is beautiful. I didn't pre-order this one, but I did specifically ask my friend Alison to order it in so that I could buy it from the Little Book Room, and they did. And then the next book I have, but I don't have yet because I bought it as a Christmas present for myself. It's Star Wars Ronin by Emma Mieko Kendon. This is a story based on Star Wars Visions, which is a TV show. Let me read you the synopsis. It says, a mysterious former Sith wanders the galaxy in this stunning Star Wars tale, an original novel inspired by the world of The Jewel from the Star Wars Visions animated anthology. The Jedi are the most loyal servants of the Empire. 2 decades ago, Jedi clans clashed in service to feuding lords. Sickened by this endless cycle, a sect of Jedi rebelled, seeking to control their own destiny and claim power in service of no master. They called themselves Sith. The Sith rebellion failed, succumbing to infighting and betrayal, and the once rival lords unified to create an empire. But even an empire at peace is not free from violence. Far on the edge of the Outer Rim, one former Sith wanders, accompanied only by a faithful droid and the ghost of a less civilized age. He carries a lightsaber but claims lineage to no Jedi clan and pledges allegiance to no lord. Little is known about him, including his name, for he never speaks of his past, nor of his regrets. His history is as guarded as the red blade of destruction he carries sheathed at his side. As the galaxy's perpetual cycle of violence continues to interrupt his self-imposed exile and he is forced to duel an enigmatic bandit claiming the title of Sith, it becomes clear that no amount of wandering will ever let him outpace the specters of his former life. Sounds absolutely incredible, everything I could ever want. And once again, the author is non-binary. Just chef's kiss. Good taste, past me. And then once again, with a non-binary author, specifically a genderqueer author, I have Darkrise by C.S. Pacat. This is their newest fantasy series. I don't know what pronouns, whether it's they or she. Let me read you the synopsis. It says, wow, okay, it's gold and it's shiny and it's actually really difficult to read. The ancient world of magic is no more. Its heroes are dead, its halls are in ruins, and its great battles between light and dark are forgotten. Only the stewards remember, and they keep their centuries-long vigil, sworn to protect humanity if the Dark King ever returns. Who printed this in white and not black? I'd like to have words with them. 16-year-old dockboy Will is on the run, pursued by the men who killed his mother. When an old servant tells him of his destiny to fight beside the stewards, Will is ushered into a world of magic where he must train to play a vital role in the oncoming war against the dark. As London is threatened by the Dark King's return, the reborn heroes and villains of a long-forgotten war begin to draw battle lines. But as the young descendants of light and dark step into their destined roles, old allegiances, old enmities, and old flames are awakened. Will must stand with the last heroes of the light to prevent the dark fate that destroyed their world from returning to destroy his own. So this is inspired by like the classic English adventure fantasy tales like Lord of the Rings, Chronicles of Narnia, The Dark is Rising sequence by Susan Cooper, probably his Dark Materials to a certain extent, which C.S. Pacat read growing up and absolutely loved, but didn't see herself in as a queer person except in a queer-coded villain. And I adored the Captive Prince series. I'm really excited to read this one. Probably won't be for a little while, but I'm very excited anyway. But I tell you what, I'm very sad that it's boring under here. Like, did you just spend your entire production budget on the shiny metallic cover? It doesn't even have any end papers. Who designed this book? Have they seen books recently? Like, I just feel like they could do better than this. Like compare that to this to this. This also doesn't have a very exciting underneath hardback, but like, at least it's got end pages, you know? Like, the last book in this video obviously is She Who Became the Sun by Shelley Parker Chan, also a non-binary author. Also, if you didn't know, they are Australian. They live in Melbourne. I didn't know and I'm absolutely stoked. The author bio says she, so I apologize. I used the wrong pronouns just now. Let me read you the synopsis of this book because I couldn't tell you what it's about off the top of my head either. Can she outwit her destiny and rise as high as she can dream? In a famine-stricken village on a dusty yellow plain, a seer shows two children their fates. For the boy, greatness. For the girl, nothingness. In 1345, China lies under harsh Mongol rule. For the starving peasants of the Central Plains, greatness is only found in stories. The Zhu family is mystified as to how Zhu Chongba, their 8th-born son, will achieve his lofty future. But for a daughter, no matter how clever or capable, an early death would be no surprise. Yet when a bandit attack orphans the two children, it is Zhu Chongba who dies. Desperate to survive, his sister steals his identity to enter a monastery. There, disguised as a male novice, Zhu learns she can be ruthless to avoid her fate. But when her sanctuary is destroyed, Zhu is cast back into the war-torn world. To change her ending, there's only one thing she can do: claim her brother's great destiny as her own. I am absolutely 100% here for this book and all of the others, but especially for this one. So yeah, those are all the recent releases that I currently have in my hands that I'm very, very excited for. There will be another one of these videos because I did pre-order a whole bunch of books. There's going to be a shortage, okay? You have to be prepared. So yeah, keep an eye out for that in the future. Otherwise, that's all I have for you for this video. If you've read any of these already, please feel free to let me know what you thought. If you just want to let me know that you were here, drop me any emoji that you feel like in the comments. Otherwise, that's all I have for this video. Thank you again for watching, and I will see you in my next one. Bye for now.